Hey everybody, hope you're doing well. This is Daniel here. I'm going to be talking a little bit today about how you can improve the show rates for the appointments that you have in your sales process. Now, this is very applicable to pretty much any sales process, but obviously a B2B context. If you're a business selling stuff to other businesses, and generally maybe you're selling on Zoom, you might be selling in person or on Google Meet, and you have appointments. These can also be the same for phone conversations that you have with prospects, but also the same can be done in a B2C sales process. Maybe you're a gym, maybe you're a real estate agent, whatever it may be. These sales process tips are going to be applicable to pretty much every type of sales process, but I've only ever done B2B sales, and so I'm going to be talking about it as I do in the context of what I know, but again, it will be very applicable probably to your sales process. So firstly, what is a sales process? In my words, it is just the steps taken to guide a prospect from the first contact that they have with a salesperson to making a purchase decision, whether that's a yes or a no. So generally, we draw the line between sort of marketing and lead gen and sales when the prospect is sort of passed from the marketing machine and sort of enters the dominion of the salesperson. And that could be an appointment is scheduled on the salesperson's calendar. Maybe it could be an SDR has sort of passed on the prospect to a closer or a secondary salesperson in a sales process. But generally, it's going to be the start of the sales process is sort of that transition from lead generation to marketing into the sales process. Now, what does a sort of zoomed out sales process look like? Generally, you're going to have some form of lead generation. In this case, we've put outreach. Okay, so the transition from outreach to your first touch point with a salesperson, let's say the first touch point is going to be a discovery phone call. Let's call this space between sort of lead generation / outreach / marketing to discovery. That's going to be lead generation. Okay, the next piece from discovery to decision, that's going to be your sales process, and then from decision to your onboarding to buy your product, that's when your sort of delivery starts. Okay, so let's talk a little bit about the sales process itself, which zooming in, let's say it's going to be from the first time a salesperson connects with a prospect to the point in which that prospect comes to a decision, whether it's going to be to buy your stuff or not. Okay, that's what a sales process is, and that's the dominion of a salesperson, in my opinion. Okay, so let me quickly show you the recommended sales process that we use when we're talking about B2B sales. Okay, generally what we do is we preach a discovery phone call and then moving the prospect into a secondary step in your sales process. Generally, it's going to be a video call, and then from that point, you might have follow-ups. But how do you sort of get prospects to show up to these meetings? Because it's very hard to close a prospect if they don't show up to a discovery call, they don't answer the phone. Or if you have a discovery call with the prospect and you schedule a second step in your sales process, maybe an in-person meeting or a discovery video call or a Zoom call, whatever it may be, and then they don't show up. Okay, naturally, show rates are a battle in which all salespeople nowadays tend to be fighting. And so I want to be giving you a couple of quick tips you can use to improve your show rates in any part of your sales process. Okay, the first thing that I want to talk about, I'll make myself a little bit smaller here, is going to be, let me go here. The first tip that I want to give you is use a scheduling tool. Okay, what a scheduling tool is essentially a software which will connect to your calendar, Google Calendar, Outlook Calendar, whatever it may be, and allow you to book a time in your own calendar or allow a prospect to book a time in your calendar based on your availability. Okay, so then you're going to avoid double bookings. You're going to be avoiding prospect scheduling times in your calendar that don't work for you. But also what most scheduling tools, for example, like Calendly have, is the option to add workflows or reminder sequences. These are essentially text and email reminders sent to the prospect, reminding them of the appointment that they have upcoming. They might receive a text or an email 24 hours before, 1 hour before, and 5 minutes before, something like this. So scheduling tools are awesome because it's going to sort of remove all of the potential of having double booked up meetings, so meetings booked at the same time or at times that don't work well for you, but it will also allow you to send reminders automated reminder sequences to improve your show rates. Okay, that's going to be the first thing. Use a scheduling tool. The second thing is ensure that you have some social proof peppered into your automated reminder sequences. So when prospects are receiving email reminders and text reminders saying, hey, just a reminder, you have a call with Daniel tomorrow at 3 p.m., you can also start to send them more content in those reminder email and texts. Like, also, by the way, if you have a couple of moments before the call, here's a link to our YouTube channel, a link to my LinkedIn account, and also here's some case studies for other businesses similar to you that we've worked with that could be interesting to you. Here's some case studies, testimonials, and social proof. Okay, peppering in the social proof is going to be huge. The biggest one, or the biggest type of social proof that you can get, especially if you're selling B2B but also B2C, is going to be video case studies or video customer interviews. This is where you interview a client of yours and they're telling you about the transformation they've received from working with you, and also they will give some advice to some other people in the same situation as to what they would do, whether they should reach out to you or not. Okay, these are going to be short video testimonials that you can use as really, really good social proof to improve your show rates. I'm going to be making another video later on, which is how to get really good customer testimonials that you can use in building your marketing ecosystem. But one place in which you can use these video customer interviews is in your social proof for your reminder sequences on your scheduling tool, okay, or in your workflows. That's going to be the second tip, okay? First tip, use a scheduling tool and the automated workflows. Second tip, enhance those workflows that you're using by peppering in social proof to obviously improve the likelihood that a prospect's going to show because they feel more excited about jumping on a call with you. But also it's going to make the rest of your sales process easier because you are already starting that rapport building process and the trust building process before the salesperson even has a sales appointment with the prospect. Okay, very, very good tip. If you can do that, you will see your show rates to your appointments really, really improve. The third tip that I would recommend is manual reconfirmations. Now, it might feel like overkill if you're sending the prospect reminder emails and reminder texts, but when you layer on manual reconfirmations, it's going to add another dimension in the fight or the battle on getting prospects to show up on time for the appointments that are scheduled on your calendar. Because it's really annoying when a prospect is scheduled on your calendar and they don't show. It's a waste of your time. It's also a waste of their time and potentially other prospects that might have wanted to take that time on your calendar and they couldn't because it was taken, and maybe for that reason they don't even schedule at all because life got too busy for them. Okay, manual reconfirmations are essentially where you just call the prospect the day before saying, hey Dave, Daniel here, giving you a quick call just to reconfirm our meeting tomorrow at 3 p.m. Does that still work for you? Question mark. Yep, that works for me. Cool. So you can manually reconfirm via calling the prospect, ideally the day before or a few hours before. You can do that same thing via sending the prospect just a text from your own personal phone number. If they don't answer the call, obviously you can leave a voicemail. You can also do the same thing via an email, okay? Especially in the email calendar invite, you can click the button which says email invitees on this calendar event, and so when you email them to reconfirm the event, they'll know exactly what event you're talking about because it's already got all the event details in their calendar and your calendar. Okay, so these are 3 tips that you can use to improve the show rates on the sales appointments that you have in your sales process. Use a scheduling tool and the associated workflows that the scheduling tool has as part of what they're doing. I use Calendly, I really like it. Secondly, enhance your workflows or your reminder sequences on your scheduling tool by peppering in social proof like video case studies, video testimonials, links to your social channels, assuming they are impressive and relevant to the subject at hand that the prospect is talking to you about. Thirdly, manual reconfirmations, either calling the prospect, leaving a voicemail, or sending the prospect emails or texts manually from your own personal number and personal email account outside of these scheduled workflows or reminder sequences. Okay, if you do these 3 things, you will see a decrease in your no-show rate and an increase in your show rate. Naturally, the inverse of one another. Hopefully that made sense to somebody out there. I wish I knew all of this information 4 years ago when I started doing a lot of sales appointments. It would have saved me a lot of headache of missed prospects not showing up to their appointment. So yeah, hopefully that made sense to someone out there. Appreciate your time. I'll see you in the next one.